Apparently opened her mouth so wide that when she was fed that her parents nicknamed her Birdy. Well, the name stuck, and now at just 17, she's a singer and songwriter who's had hits around the world.
Her success started after she won a talent contest and was spotted on YouTube, but it was her debut track, a cover of Bon Iver's Skinny Love, that saw her break into the top 20.
3 years later, Birdy's back with a new single and album. Before we speak to her, let's hear some of the music. Bon Iver. It's Bon Iver, not Bon Iver.
What did I say? What did I call Franz
Everybody
Ferdinand?
in the music business knows that.
What did I call Franz Ferdinand last week? Franz Ferdinand. Honestly, my Radio 1 credentials are going down the pan. Birdy, very good morning.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
How old are you now?
17.
Goodness me, you've achieved quite a lot in a very short space of time.
Yeah, it's been very strange. I feel like the last 2 years have gone so quickly, but I'm really having so much fun.
You started playing, what, when you were 7 years old?
Yeah, back then when my mum taught me the piano first, and then I started writing when I was 8.
Started writing when you were 8. Can you remember what your first songs were about?
Well, I think they were about love, but they didn't really make much sense.
Well, because they're based on a wide life experience to the age.
But I remember them being very sad and kind of just all over the place. But.
Do you come from a very musical background?
Yeah, well, my whole family are quite musical. My mum's a concert pianist, so I've grown up with music just surrounding me all my life.
And sitting down presumably at a piano at home and being able to play, was that sort of scenario?
Yeah, and all my brothers and sisters all play instruments, and so yeah, we love music.
And doing a lot of production work and travelling and recording and all sorts, and in a bit of a whirlwind, and many parents will be looking at you saying, she's only 17, what about her education? I mean, how do you mix those? Because you did your GCSEs, didn't you?
Yeah, I did those. And
when did you do those? Was it last year?
Last year.
Last year. And now what's happened since then?
Well, I was at college for a year, and I think everyone's just done their AS levels, so I actually left a bit before that. I've just put it on hold really for a little bit, just to concentrate on this album coming out, and just to do one thing, I think, and focus on that, and hopefully do well.
Tell us about how you came to prominence, because social media and the internet, I mean, we just talked about the fact that, you know, we're doing so much shopping on the internet. We spend so much time looking at websites, and that helped you, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I was noticed from a video on YouTube. It was when I was 12, and it was a song I wrote, and it was just me at the piano at home, and someone from the record company happened to see it. And
you were 12?
I was 12, and they got in touch. And then when I was 14, I released Skinny Love, and then signed a record deal. So it's all from YouTube.
When you were 14, you signed your first record deal?
Yes.
See, I just wonder what that experience is like for someone as young as yourself. Because I mean, for anybody, it's hugely exciting, but it's a whole new world of unknowns, really. And it's not like you can go to a new job and say, right, oh, I'm learning how to do it now. It's just one thing leads on to another. Did you find it bewildering at all, or how do you cope with it?
Well, it was kind of strange being at school at the same time, and having to balance it, and recording on the weekends and things like that, and then doing my homework on the train. But everything happened quite gradually, so I had time to build up songs and work on that, and work on my writing.
If you go on the internet, you can see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of young people doing covers of things like Skinny Love. But what is it then that makes a record company pick one person, and that person then to be making an album a couple of years later? Is it because you've got original material inside you? Is it something else that they've spotted? Why do you think you were the one?
Well, to me, it's always been about writing. And yeah, that's the most important. I started with one of my own songs on YouTube, which was what was noticed. And the covers, in a way, were just because I was at school, and I didn't really have time to do a whole album of originals. You
mentioned your mother's a classical pianist, and of course there's lots of talents in the family, because your great uncle, I mean, your name Jasmine van den Bogaerde, your great uncle was Dirk Bogaerde.
Yes, yeah.
That's a terrific branch to have in your family tree, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I didn't ever get to meet him, but I've watched films, and when I was much younger, I remember watching them. And
what would your ambition be now? What would you like to do? Well, not just obviously to have success with the album, to presumably to record more, but where would you ultimately like to go with your career?
Well, for me, the goal for a long time has been just to release an album of all original material, and so I'm really excited about that. hopefully I can just keep writing, and I have no idea what to expect really. I feel like I'm starting again with this new album.
And planning a really terrific 18th birthday party.
Yes, definitely.
When is that?
15th of May.
Oh, well, some time off.
Yeah.
Well, have a nice time with it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's lovely to see you. Thank you so much. Birdy's new single, Wings, is out now. Her latest album, Fire Within, released on the 23rd of September.
So far, we've had a few showers, some heavy showers in